Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Today, my dear friends, we are celebrating Tuesday, the second week of the ordinary time, and we continue reflecting on the events transpired in the public ministry of our Lord Jesus. In today's Gospel of Mark, we hear of the encounter between Jesus, his disciples, and the Pharisees. You know, the law is very important in the Jewish faith because it is found at the center of their life. Their faithfulness to Yahweh was mainly expressed through their faithfulness to the letters of the law. That means by observing the letters of the law, what the law dictates, they express their faithfulness to their tradition and to Yahweh. And so the issue at hand in today's narrative is very significant because the law somehow defines our sense of justice. We perceive justice always in the context of what the law dictates. Magiging makatarungan ang isang tao kung ito ay ayon sa idinidikta ng batas. That is our concept of justice. But the justice of God is different. Just as how the first reading for today, the author of the letter to the Hebrews tells us that God is not an unjust God. He sees everything. He knows everything. And therefore, He has a broad perspective, a perfect even perspective of what we need. And that is the goal of the Lord. Wala namang ibang hinahangad ang Diyos, kundi ang ikabubuti ng tao. And so His perspective, His view, given that it is perfect, hence leads us to the idea, to the conclusion, that the justice of God is far beyond what the law dictates. Now, in the Gospel, Jesus was with His disciples and they were going through a field of grain. Kung nakadaan na kayo sa palayan o sa damuhan, yung talahiban, no? Matataas yan. At bago ka makalakad ng maayos dyan, kailangan ay gapasin mo yung talahib, yung mga damo. Pero sila, they were going through a field of grain and they were making a path para may daanan sila. And I'm sure as they walked through the field of grain, they were hungry already. And so the disciples picked the grains of wheat. Sayang nga naman. No? Sayang nga naman. At least according to the Gospel of Mark, they picked the grains of wheat. And the Pharisees saw this, and they questioned Jesus. Why are they disobeying the law of the Sabbath? Why are they disobeying the law of the Sabbath? And Jesus responded to them, hindi niyo ba alam yung ginawa ni David? Kung paanong siya'y pumasok sa bahay ng Diyos, sa templo ng Diyos, kasama niya ang kanyang mga companions, and they were hungry. And so they ate the bread that was meant to be eaten only by the priests. And David, knowing that his companions were also hungry, shared the bread with them. That was the response of the Lord to the Pharisees. Was the issue just about defending what the disciples did? Was it just because Jesus wanted to defend His disciples? No. Because Jesus tells them, the Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath. God designed the Sabbath for the good of man. Hindi baligtad. Hindi tao ang kailangang mag-adjust doon sa Sabbath. Yung Sabbath, ibinigay sa tao para sa ikabubuti niya. And therefore, that is why the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. Here we see a revelation of who Jesus is. He was revealing Himself to them. Yun nga lang, talagang hindi siya na-gets ng mga Pariseyo. He was revealing Himself to them. As He quoted what happened to David and his companions, somebody greater than David is here. This Son of Man, according to the letter to the Hebrews, is the high priest, not according to the line of Aaron, but according to the line of Melchizedek. Who is Melchizedek? He is a priest in the Old Covenant, not connected to the line of Aaron, a mysterious priest who offered great sacrifices on behalf of the people. Kung saan siya mapunta, siya'y naglilingkod, iniiwan ang kanyang mga ari-arian at anuman ang meron siya para sa ikabubuti ng mga tao. And He did not desire any admiration, but offered sacrifices. He served. Now, the letter to the Hebrews describes Jesus as the high priest according to the line of Melchizedek. The one present here is a high priest who observes the law. Not only does He observe the law, He is the law. That is why when He was asked in another part of the gospel, which of the commandments is the greatest, He said, love God, of course, and love your neighbor. The commandment of love, the law of love, is Jesus Himself. And therefore, during that Sabbath, He knew what the disciples were doing. They were not doing anything evil. It was love that brought these disciples to follow Him. It was love that brought the disciples to realize, sayang yung grains of wheat na kailangan din nating kumain. So it's not anymore about the violation of the law. It's about understanding who Jesus is in one's life. And so today, having known all these things, who is Jesus to me? Is Jesus to me a policeman who watches every action that I do, and therefore I am careful? Is Jesus a strict professor who looks at my exams and checks them and calls my attention and scolds me? No, Jesus is the Good Shepherd. His justice is beyond the minimum. The minimum is to obey the letters of the law. But to obey the law of love, kapag natutunan mo yan, hindi mo na kailangang i-memorize yung 10 Commandments. Dahil lalabas at lalabas sa puso mo ang kabutihan. Ang mga pananalitang iyong bibigkasin, ang mga kaisipan na lalabas sa iyong isip, ay pawang kabutihan. That is the justice of God. And so, have we followed this high priest? Have we followed his commandments? Remember that when we die, in our judgment, we will not just be asked, Did you kill anyone? Did you steal anything? No. God will ask us, have you been charitable in your words? Have you encouraged the weak? Have you given hope to the hopeless? Did you care for those who are suffering? Inisip mo ba ang kabutihan ng iba? And if our answer is yes, then we recognize Jesus as the Lord of the Sabbath. We recognize Him as the law of God, the law of love. To all our parishioners from Holy Family Parish,
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year!